In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why I think we are going to see a property market crash this year after March. Watch the video to see the 5 plausible and logical reasons. Reason number 1, recession. Some people love that word because they make good money and there's opportunity for them. A lot of people hate that word because that affects their business and their personal life a lot. The UK has been in recession since the second quarter of 2020. Has been quite a few months now. And even if you speak to the most optimistic people when they're talking about the future forecast of UK GDP, most of them think we're not going to return to pre-pandemic levels until at least 2023, and some say it could be longer. In previous recessions, we've had a property market crash, so it's likely that in this one here, we're going to have some kind of a correction. I think there is going to be some kind of a crash. Prices are going to drop. It's just a matter of when. I wish I knew exactly when, because then I can tell you and we can all benefit from it, every single person, but obviously that's not the way life and world works. Number 2, unemployment. We know that's going to go up, don't we? Obviously furloughs due to end in March, and the government has offered quite a few different support mechanisms, but once furlough ends, it is predicted that unemployment will rise drastically. So if there's more people unemployed, then there's more people who can't afford to buy houses, there's more people who can't afford to keep up repayments. You know where this is going, you know the drill, you know how it works. And if all of that happens and people who can't repay their loans, something needs to change. What's going to change is they'll be handing their keys back and saying, oh, I can't pay for my mortgage. And that's going to affect the property market, and that's going to cause some kind of a correction. The third reason, unaffordability. A lot of people in the UK cannot afford property right now. The current average price for a property is around £250,000, and that's way over for the 4 times income for most people. So they can't afford to buy a house. What this means is that buying a home for a lot of people is unfeasible, so they are just reverting to renting homes, and even that, if they lose their jobs, as we've said earlier, they won't be able to even pay the rent. How's that gonna work? So demand will probably slow down for buying homes because most of them are renting. They can't afford to buy. I say most, it's a third, and what I mean by that is that number will increase over time. Number 4, end to stamp duty holiday. That was introduced by the Chancellor and extended up until the end of March this year. That's going to come to an end, and the property markets remained pretty buoyant. Properties are selling exceptionally well. I've seen a lot of properties being sold for asking price pretty much within a week, so that's stayed strong and steady. However, when the stamp duty land tax holiday ends, a lot of people are predicting that's going to slow down the market, because a property being bought for £500,000 right now saves you around about £10,000 in SDLT. That's not going to be the case after 31st of March. So we'll see a lot of people trying to complete in the next couple of months, but after that, that's going to have an impact, because that's an extra 10 grand worth of cash flow people need in order to buy their next property, which some people obviously don't have. In fact, as I say, a lot of people don't have £10,000 savings in order to be able to buy a property. That's going to slow things down quite a lot. Number 5, end to mortgage holiday. So people who, or property owners who weren't able to afford to pay their mortgage were able to get a 6-month holiday, and applications for this end on the 31st of March 2021. Once that happens, or once people have used up their 6 months, depending on when they took up that 6-month period, if they are still struggling then, or if they lose their job, or if their employer says we don't need you full-time, work part-time, they can't have a further deferral, they can't refinance because they don't have enough income, or there's not enough equity built up, or they're highly geared, which is pretty much the same thing, they then will have to try and find some means of paying their mortgage, and they are going to struggle. Now some of them might try and sell their property and downsize, but if property market or prices drop, they might not be able to get enough money to repay their debt on the mortgage, so they can't sell their property, which causes a massive problem. I think that's also going to cause some kind of a correction. So those are 5 things which I think are going to impact the property market after the 31st of March. I can't say to you if it's April, May or June, but I am very confident from everything I've seen and heard that this year we will have a correction in the market.